Timberwolves will play Game 2 tonight on ESPN. San Antonio lost Game 1 despite a legendary defensive effort from Victor Wembanyama, who set a playoff record with 12 blocks. But yesterday, Minnesota coach Chris Finch was adamant that many of those shouldn't have counted. Listen to the coach.
At least 4 of them were goaltending, maybe even a 5th. It's kind of, to me, it's a little alarming that none of them were called. So let's just say there were 4. That's 8 points. The value of 8 points in an NBA game is massive, right? That's also, 33% of his blocks were goaltending uncalled. And, if I were to give you a 33% raise, you'd like that, right? I mean, that's a huge number.
That is all world off-day lobbying.
That is
on the
Pat
part of
Riley,
Chris Finch.
Phil Jackson, Chuck Daly, off-day stuff right there. He didn't waste a word.
With some panache, though.
Yes.
I mean, I like the way he did it. Wendy, I'm going to show a couple of plays here, and then we'll get you in, Windman, because we went back over the blocks. There's one of them in which he seems to be completely right. And, Cindy, there's one play that is unquestionably goaltending. This ball is definitely going to touch the glass before he blocks it. We're going to show you 2 looks at it. Here's this one again, and then we'll show it to you from behind the basket, and you will clearly see. It's quick, it's bang, bang, but the ball definitely goes off there first. Yeah. There's 2 others that we have. One clearly appears to be a foul. Another one is very close. This is the one that looks like a foul. If you slow it down, it looks like a foul. And then there's another that you'll see here in a moment in the sequence that does appear to be a goaltend, although it's pretty close. This is the one right here. That is pretty close.
That means he still blocked 8 clean.
Right, but
that's not the point, though, Wilbon.
No, that's not Finch's point.
Yeah,
And by the way, I love what he did.
Well done.
In the meantime, and you know this because you're the player sitting among us. Players don't remember goaltending. They remember getting their shot blocked. As the great John Thompson would say when he had Patrick Ewing. Offensive players remember they got blocked. And that was in their heads.
But what did Big John used to say? Exactly, he got in their heads. And to Minnesota's point, I know that's not where we're going, Greeny, but to Minnesota's credit, it did not get in their heads.
It didn't. They kept going.
Right.
They're fearless. Right. That is the cool thing. And Finch is a great part of that. He and the blast furnace personality of Anthony Edwards.
Yep.
But he still blocked 8 shots. And if you're San Antonio, you're focused on that.
Windman, get in here.
Chris Finch is one of the great coaches we have in our league. Dateline Denver, April 20th, 2026. After Game 1 of the series with the Nuggets, Chris Finch, maybe we got to start flopping too. I could go on and on. He's waged a multi-year campaign against the Thunder's fouls. It's in the script. I can just see him in the back. He goes, what if I say they could get a 33% raise? Wouldn't that be a good? Oh yeah, that's good. It's good. Let's run lines here. Yeah. This is what Finch does. He's brilliant at it. He has led his team to 5 playoff series victories over the last 2 years. He knows that winning on the margins is vital for an underdog. Guess what? They've won as an underdog over and over and over. I have seen great coaches do this. I remember vividly coming into your studio in New York after the Pacers were down 2-0 to the Knicks 2 years ago, and Rick Carlisle had provided me with a list of all the calls that they had sent to the NBA. I love NBA playoff series because of the drama that happens over 2 weeks. And here we go. We're 1 game in, and Finch is, eyeball deep in it. His game plan was perfect. The big thing tonight is not the goaltending calls, although you know that the first block, everybody's gonna be doing it and looking at it, and Chris Finch is gonna go, I got him. If he gets a goaltend tonight, he's gonna give a high five to his assistant coaches going down the bench. It's more about what Ant Edwards can give them tonight after he's got a minute restriction of 25 minutes.
Absolutely. By the way, I also want you to hear something that happened on First Take yesterday, because I have been known to describe myself as a professional overreactor. But then yesterday, Kendrick Perkins, who picked the San Antonio Spurs to win the championship, went on First Take and said this.
I know I picked the San Antonio Spurs to win the championship, and I'm going to say right now that I was wrong. I was wrong, and I'm going to take all the heat that comes with it because they're not going to win this series. And I'm telling you right now, if the San Antonio Spurs don't get Game 2, it is a must-win situation, they're going to get swept.
I'm going to give my little overreactor plaque to Kendrick Perkins. God bless you. I love you, big fella. But we've gone from winning the championship
to swept
after a 2-point loss to swept. What do we think? Not of Perk, but of the series.
Don't overreact to game one.
Right.
The facial expression that LeBron had going back to the other series.
Yeah.
Somebody has the ultimate perspective. And Perk does too.
Yeah.
And he's going to calm down later in the week when we see what.
Are you
really
sure?
Think. Yes, I am. Because I've been around Perk his entire career.
But they got to win tonight. San Antonio's got to win tonight.
San Antonio needs to win tonight. I don't want to say gotta. I'm not going to make. Minnesota has been in the last two Western Conference Finals. They haven't won. They're not wearing any. There's no hardware yet.
Right.
All right. So let's not crown them. To quote the late great Dennis Green, let's not crown them yet. But they need a win tonight, and they need Wemby to be Wembanyama, not try to turn into Steph Curry and have 8 threes, which for my taste is a little bit too much in playoff basketball. 0 for 8 in particular. It's not in the flow of a game, or he got hot and it was a heat check. There's none of that. So I don't want to overreact to any game one. But look, Minnesota, if they had DiVincenzo and Ayo, you could look at them and say, oh, Minnesota's the better team, underdog my foot.
Yeah, I think we forget, though, when they were fully healthy, Greeny, this was one of the teams that had wins over both the Spurs and the Thunder, right? And so I think what Wendy said is so true. How is Ant's knee going to hold up in the cadence of this series? But I'm not going to swept. But I do think this is probably more interesting than people anticipated.
Veteran experience matters. Like they haven't gone to the finals, but they've gotten to the Western Conference Finals. Think of all the players that Anthony Edwards has knocked off, played a part and knocked off in the last 2 years. Nikola Jokic, gone. Steph Curry, gone. Luka Doncic, gone. LeBron,
Kevin
you owed.
Durant.
KD, you owed. Book, you owed. All those guys are skins on his wall. You think he wouldn't mind taking down a 7'11" Victor Wembanyama?
Face of the league, presumed face of the league.
Yeah.
And one quick point about the experience. I think Mike Conley, has played in 115 playoff games. Rudy Gobert's like 92. I mean, these guys have been in the playoffs, not to mention that.
And the Spurs haven't. This is their first time going through this.
I know we got to wrap, but you mentioned a word talking about the Thunder earlier, Wilbon, that I thought was appropriate, ruthless. The word I've come up with when it comes to Minnesota is a grit that people, I think, look over when it comes to this group because they kind of flop around maybe down the stretch of the regular season, but all they do is show up in the postseason.
I'll be fascinated to see Anthony Edwards. I could see it going either way. Either, that game, it's rough and the knee is a little worse now for wear, or he's working his way back into prime form. If he's better, then there could be real.
That's a contrast in this series.
James Harden has been in the league as long as Stephen Curry. We talk about Stephen Curry being one of the gray beards. The beard is a gray beard, and expecting him to play at a level that is higher than his usual playoff level, I don't think it's something that you should necessarily expect. Like Monica said, what she said about the Thunder, Detroit is more athletic, younger, more aggressive. Sometimes you can be too young. Sometimes your best player can be too old.
That's
Is Harden your best, though?
at it. Yeah,
Are we putting Harden the best?
Because Donovan Mitchell, obviously, is someone
Well,
else
he was
that
supposed to
they're
make the
counting
difference. When they made that trade,
Right.
they felt better about themselves. We saw an immediate bump, right? And I hear where you're going, and I'm with you about Donovan Mitchell. But that's a tag team effort.
Yeah.
And it's got to be both of them, particularly against all those things that we talked about with Detroit.
Go ahead.
And here's the other thing. Detroit's superpower, if they have one, their A-game is making sure that you don't get to yours.
Yep.
Their superpower is you can't get to play your best game against us. And if that means you're going to turn the ball over, you're going to foul us too much, that's what they do best, and that can win you playoff series where there is a talent disparity.
Harden is 36. Houston, Brooklyn, Philadelphia, Cleveland. Now we're seeing it here. Windman, how much of this should be about James Harden this morning?
It's not just a James Harden discussion. It's Donovan Mitchell. And it's not just the Pistons. It was the Raptors. If you look at the last 6 games, they got off to a great start going up 2-0 on the Raptors. The last 6 games, Donovan and Harden have not gotten it done. Bottom line. The shooting percentages are not there. The turnovers are a massive problem. It's 51 turnovers for those two in the last 6 games. They are 4-6 in those, or 2-4 in those games. They've lost 4 of the 6. They have gone all 0-4 on the road. They actually did a really good job on Cade Cunningham last night. Cade was 6 of 19. They did a great job on Cade Cunningham during the season. But their star players have not delivered. You can look at other little things, but ultimately at the end of the day, you need Harden and Mitchell to deliver. This is a pathway for the Cavs. The Pistons are somewhat vulnerable. They're going to be better in the next couple of years than they are now. They got to get more from Harden and Mitchell. And by the way, both of those guys are in position to get contracts this offseason. If you're the Cavs, you got to decide these two work together. That's what's on the line right now.
One of these two teams is going to be in the Eastern